Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my thoughts are all about desire and sex. And I am connecting those two because I've got a beautiful quote to start with. But I have to tell you that a lot of people connect these two things, right? When people are feeling very sexy, you're feeling sex driven, often desire comes up as the term. I've got a lot of desire, or I've got a lot of desire for this person. And so oftentimes people are thinking about their love interest of the moment or for many years. And these two terms are often interchangeable. So the first quotation I wanted to share with you is this by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And it says, "Sex is the consolation you have when you can't have love." Sex is the consolation you have when you can't have love. And you think, oh my goodness, well, how is that possible, right? So that sex is, for a lot of people, it's like the complete consummation of love is seen in sex, or that's what they believe, or that's what they'd like to believe. Yet, when people have completed having sex, many people just move on to the next thing that they're doing, right? Whether it's falling asleep or whether it's, rushing to the next task. And it's not sex that is love, for one thing, and sex and desire are also slightly different things too. So again, in our society, maybe throughout the world, a lot of times people connect desire and sex. But if we look at just senses, so if we think about, people can have a desire for food, right? So if I'm smelling food and I have strong desire for food, I will start thinking of food. And as soon as I see food, I might think, oh, I wonder how that tastes, and I'd love to taste that. And I've tasted it before. Maybe I've tasted it before, and it's like, oh, I'd love to have that again, right? So it's my desire for that food that's coming through in this time. And some people have a desire for sex, or we'll say many sexual partners, or maybe frequency of sex. So, but it's again a desire based on the senses. Same thing for music, right? So people can be loving music and they hear something that really lifts them, or is very familiar, and suddenly they want to hear it again. And this is the thing about desire. So I can suddenly desire this music, or I can desire getting that. Right now I want to own that desire. I want to have it. It's what happens with desire, that not only is there the pleasing experience that comes through one of the senses. Again, it could be something I see. I might love art, or I might love nature, and I have to see it. Now, I might love nature so much. I love seeing flowers. And what will I feel like? Oh, that flower is so beautiful. If I could only have that flower at my place. So again, see that thing, that idea of now I want to make it mine, right? So, and this is a very common thing. I've worked with clients who have a desire to get a new home. And in that time, the same sort of thinking that happens, this desire becomes like this burning fire, which is, I have to get a new home. And this again can happen for anything in which our senses are somewhat involved. So sometimes people have their senses of, I like that I have a little bit more room in a bigger house, so I need to get a bigger house for that. We could again start thinking about, maybe it's the look of a particular place that I want to go to, or maybe I want to move to a different country because it appeals to me in terms of that look. So again, there is some sense about it. There's a sense perception that comes in that then leads to a desire, that then leads to even more. Now I want more, and I want to have this repeated experience, and usually to own it, to control it, to have it, right? So in all of these things. And so we know that that's not limited to these senses. There's also the sense of intellectual curiosity, right? So the mind also has a real desire for learning. So anyone who loves learning knows that it can be such a pull, right? So I love learning, and I love learning different things, right? And learning this is such a pleasure to share with you, right? So again, all of these things. So I came across this next quotation, which again shows us that it's not sex and desire that are necessarily linked, but desire can be in a lot of different areas, and it's always linked with the senses. So this quotation says, "The desire of knowledge, like thirst of riches, increases ever with the acquisition of it." I'll read that again. "The desire of knowledge, like the thirst of riches, increases ever with the acquisition of it. And this is the thing, right? So we know about greed. Most people are familiar with, oh, that person is so money hungry, right? And that's the same thing. We just talked about hunger and senses. And if there's a sense of, I like the feel of money, I like to, some people like the smell of fresh bills. Some people like looking at money. Many people like spending money. Some people like seeing that the account balance is growing. So there is kind of this thirst for this desire for more money. And oftentimes you might find that even when people have lots of money, there's still this thirst for more, which again moves into that greed, that acquisition. I need to have it and I need to have more. This is what happens with desire. And so today I would love for you to sit and think about, what are your desires? What do you find burns within you that makes you feel like I gotta have that? And then can you just sit and just smile and just know that I love that, right? That's my desire. I have a desire for that. And just not with any judgment to it, but just an understanding. And desire is a beautiful feeling when we're fully present with it, no matter what your desire is in. And of course, I might have biases as to healthy desires and not healthy desires, but I won't go into that. For today, try not to judge what your desires are, but certainly start having an understanding of what your desires are, what areas. It might not just be one thing, but you might have some clarity. It's good to sit and think, to understand yourself, to understand what your desires are. This final quotation is by Friedrich Nietzsche, and this quotation says, ultimately, it is the desire, not the desired, that we love. Ultimately, it is the desire, not the desired, that we love. And this is the thing, right? So no matter what, remember, desire is unending. And it is one of those things that as soon as you have written your list or made some mental assessment of what kind of things you desire, you'll see it's unlimited how much desire we can have about the things that we love. And it's good to have a mindful awareness of it, because as soon as we're fully aware of it, it diminishes that fire just a little bit, where we're suddenly able to look at, oh, this is my desire. I am aware of it. Now I control my senses as opposed to my senses controlling me. So I leave you with that thought. I hope you have a beautiful day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.